number of various technologies you work with. It basically, gives you an experience and understanding how the industry works, and gives you perspective, which is again, it becomes a hands-on skill. But the schedule for the production level feature is going to depend on the results of the prototype. You should be intellectually curious to look for the development in the language. It includes all the scientific libraries, and they're very dynamic. They're changing very quickly.
Hi all, good morning. So today I have Alex with us, who is a creative hands-on technology leader with over 15 plus years of experience in software development, systems engineering, and product management. He has led up to teams of 50 people, managed budgets of up to 11 million per year for both established and startup companies. He has expertise in managing software development using diverse technology stacks and cloud-based infrastructure with a deep focus on machine learning and AI-based products. Let's welcome Alex on 10 Minutes of Hiring Wisdom. Hi Alex, how are you doing today?
Hey Manal, how are you?
I am doing well. How's your Tuesday going so far?
My Tuesday's been fine. It's a bit cold in here, but that's fine.
So Alex, first of all, the first question that I would have is, we know that you're the head of application engineering and machine learning at a company called Demystifying Technologies. Would love to understand, what is your day-to-day like? What does your role and responsibilities entail?
As any typical company of this size, it's a kind of busier startup with a production platform. What I do day to day is, first, I focus on making sure that we're providing value to our customers. Basically means that the production is up. And secondly, develop the product further. And it includes a lot of conversations with the business side of the house and the product designers, just to make sure that we understand what we're building. And then talking to my team in terms of how we're going to implement it. And obviously, because it's a machine learning platform, there is an application level of research going on, just to make sure that we stay current with the current trends in the industry.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that, Alex. Also, Alex, I know that you're hiring for a lot of NLP engineers and you handle a lot of NLP engineers. That's been the buzzword where a lot of companies are specifically looking for this niche skill. So can you explain in your simple words, for a person who might not be coming from that background, what exactly is NLP and what are some of the fun things an NLP data scientist could work on?
Okay, in a very simple words, NLP has to do with the understanding of the language. So for the layperson, you give me a text and I tell you what the text is about without reading it word by word. So it basically means that somehow I can process the volume of text and tell you what the main ideas of this volume are, and provide you some additional information about the positivity or negativity of the text, and give you some insights of what people are telling you.
Okay. And according to you, what does it take for someone to be a successful NLP data scientist? Like, what are some of the skills, characteristics that make a person be successful in this role specifically?
As you probably know, it's a very broad definition because it includes a lot of things, going from how you do DevOps for the models all the way to research into the machine learning and artificial intelligence. For the industry, what I would say is important for the NLP engineer, in my understanding, is you need to be good in writing code in Python. You should be intellectually curious to look for the development in the language. It includes all the scientific libraries, and they're very dynamic. They're changing very quickly, and you should have a grasp of the mathematical concepts in statistics and linear algebra. And that would allow you to be current with the trends in the industry and do kind of application level research. I'm not talking about deep research activities. For that, you probably need PhDs, but to be competent enough to read the paper and understand what the paper is about, and then implement it in code.
Okay. Well, we heard it from Alex, a deep understanding of Python, a good understanding of mathematical skills, that could be statistical analysis, is something that's very important. That would touch upon the base level of being successful as an NLP data scientist. My next question for you, Alex, would be: is you are a leader and you lead a team of specific people. What are some of how do you set project deadlines, and how do you ensure that people can meet those project deadlines in a way that is most efficient?
Okay, it's definitely not an exact science, and it does require some experience before you get good on it, because it's kind of learning by doing. What I think is really important is first to understand what exactly we're building. What does it mean? What is the outcome of the project that we're taking on? That's number one. Number two, you got to understand whether you can just implement it with the tools and skill set you have currently, or it requires research, and or it requires the augmentation of the skill set for your team. If the answer is that yes, we can implement it with the teams we have and with the tools that we have available, and as tools I mean open source packages that are readily available. We don't have to do any research. We just need to implement and know how to implement it. It becomes an easier task. You basically, hopefully, the manager, you understand what your people can do and how fast you can they can do it, and the way to get this understanding is to see how fast they code and how many commits you get per week, things like that. I mean, there are lots of statistical measures that hopefully you know about and you collect in your software development management, and then you just project forward. And of course, you put some margin on it because things happen, and that's how you implement it. If it's a research project and you need to read the papers, understand what may or may not work, and write few prototypes, it's gonna take longer. And it usually starts with the discussion with the product team, basically saying, "Hey, look, guys, we don't know exactly how it's going to work, and this is the timeline that we can give you for the prototypes, but the schedule for the production level feature is going to depend on the results of the prototype." And again, it's not an exact science. It usually goes at the back and forth. And maybe it's going to be descoped because people want it in 3 months and you can commit to 3 months. But it's kind of normal development process. And it goes in all companies from Google and Meta all the way down to startups. I mean, the process is pretty much the same.
Thank you so much for sharing that with specific examples regarding what kind of projects would entail different deadlines and how you set them for people. So, Alex, two more questions. My second question for you is: you climbed up the ladder towards success. What was your educational background, and what were some of the roles that you took on until you got here to a position where you're leading a team of successful engineers yourself now?
Well, it was quite a few years in my past when I go back to college. I mean, unfortunately, more years than I would want to admit. Uh, I started in aerospace engineering, and the way it's applicable to the software development is that I got very good fundamentals in mathematics, and that proved to be invaluable when I moved to software development. And then I went back to college and I did a degree in technical management, just to become a better leader in the field. And then it practice. It basically, it's number of projects that you've done before, and number of various technologies you work with. It basically, gives you an experience and understanding how the industry works, and gives you perspective, which is again, it becomes a hands-on skill. And of course, you have to have aptitude to working with people. Some very good software engineers are just interested to write code, which is fine. And some of us, me included, are interested to work with teams to write even more code, which I think will more fun.
Okay, so you've definitely come a long way, Alex, and paving through the obstacles, going through things that you were interested in, and like working on the strong fundamentals is what you got you to where you are now.
Hmm.
So, Alex, last question. We'll wrap it up with just asking: is your company hiring? What kind of positions are you looking to hire within your team, and what are some of the skills you look for when you're looking to add people to your team specifically?
Well, we're not hiring. It's a really tough engineering, not engineering. I'm sorry, business environment right now. As you may know, pretty much, we have massive layoffs going throughout the industry, and but in terms of the skills that we need when we grow teams in this particular industry, it's a combination of solid software development skills, good background in statistics and math, and intellectual curiosity. That's what we're basically looking for.
Okay, well, Alex, we are done with our conversation. It
Oh,
was a pleasure having you as a guest,
same here.
seeing how far you've come along with your educational background, how you set deadlines for your team players to make sure that they are set on their way towards success. It's a pleasure. It was a pleasure learning from you, from your journey, and how far you've come. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pleasure speaking with you.